All right, so I'm here with John, founder of Lighting Legends, one of our previous clients. I just wanted to say, firstly, thanks for taking the time to do this. So, would you mind briefly introducing you, like yourself, your business, what you do, and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, sure. I'm John. I'm the director of Lighting Legends. We sell outdoor lights across the UK. We started the business in 2020, and we've gained about 65,000 UK customers and turnover about £2 million a year.
Cool, cool. So, we worked together for around how long was it? It must have been 5, 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, about 6 months.
Yeah. Um, so obviously we didn't. The relationship sort of ended. Well, the working relationship sort of ended just due to the nature of your business and marketing budget and
Yeah,
all those sorts of
things are
things.
quite seasonal with us. So we've
Yeah,
got a major peak season between February and September time.
yeah,
So yeah, we just sort of make it work for us in terms of seasonality.
yeah, yeah. So like over those 6 months that we worked together, like how did not just email, how did like the overall business sort of change? How did we manage to help you out and that sort of thing?
Well, I can't. After several years of sort of kind of regurgitating the same emails over and over again, it got to the point where your head can think of maybe 10 subject lines or 100 subject
Yeah,
lines, but then after a while, it just feels like you're repeating yourself. And although I've got some level of basic design skills, I'm not a graphic designer, and I'm not able to. We use a platform called Clavio, and it has got some design skill
hmm,
tools in there, but they are fairly basic.
yeah,
And I'm aware that other companies' emails looked a lot more professional than ours.
hmm,
So we're just at the time like looking to improve on what we already had, but also try and take that burden of the feeling of, oh no, I've got to create another subject line, or I've got to do like
yeah,
what
yeah,
preview text will I do, and monitoring how it does and trying to constantly improve when you're trying to do a million other
yeah.
things at the same time.
Yeah, that's one of the things, isn't it? It doesn't seem like a lot of work at surface level, but it's just always in the back of your mind because obviously I know from running
Yeah,
different clients, like constantly juggling just different, like you said, like ideas for new campaigns, subject lines, like everything. It just stays in the back of your mind, doesn't it?
yeah, and it's like what's upcoming? Is there a
Hmm.
Mother's Day? Or is there a Father's Day? And it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
sometimes things things creep up on you and time just disappears, and you're like, oh, I've got. It used to get to a Friday afternoon, and I'd remember at about 4 o'clock, and I'd be like, oh, I've got the marketing email still to do,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
it'd be I wouldn't spend as much time on it as I should because it was sort of like an afterthought.
yeah. That's
So
when you get like the regurgitated content as well, isn't it? When
exactly,
it's
yeah. Then I'd be cloning one of my previous campaigns and basically just sending out the same thing again,
yeah, yeah,
which in terms of like added value for the customers, it wasn't as good as it could be. There
yeah,
wasn't really a lot of thinking or time that had gone into it.
yeah, for sure. As well, similar sort of thing. What did I don't actually remember. What did you sort of have set up for flows? Did you? I think you had a few basic flows set up.
Again, yeah, there was a few basic flows like the
Yeah,
abandoned checkout flow, which would be the most successful.
yeah,
We didn't have we didn't have a pop up. We didn't have I think there was a welcome flow, but it was quite basic.
yeah,
Um, and there was no sort of like encouragement of like first getting your first order in or anything.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So I think there's probably maybe five flows, but again, they had just they'd been created in 2021
Hmm.
and very rarely updated until we got help from you guys.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So like, I mean, you already spoke about it a bit, but what you were doing for your emails, you were literally running everything for yourself.
Yeah,
Like you were doing everything. Like you didn't have like an internal team or anything. You
no,
were on
it was kind
Clavio,
of like
which was
making it
good.
up as I go along, but
Yeah,
sort of learning from previous successes, and if that went well, I'd try and work out why that went well and then try and recreate it. But quite often there was like an idea I had in my head,
hmm,
but it was very hard to then actually draw that out on
yeah, yeah,
Clavio.
yeah, for sure.
Quite often it was quite wordy
Hmm.
without having actually much graphic on there.
Yeah, Yeah, we were able to get a few quick wins in, weren't we? Obviously, with the flows, we built the flows out quite fast, able to bring in
Yeah,
quite a lot
they
of revenue
make
with
a
those.
major difference. So, like I say, the flows were there before, but there were just not a lot of effort and time had gone into them. And when you consider the amount of revenue the flows bring in on a everyday basis,
Yeah,
it's so much worthwhile
yeah,
to
yeah,
make sure that the flows are working as well as possible.
yeah.
And
As
also
well,
like consistency across the
yeah,
flows. Some I'd created a couple of years ago and I'd gone back and I'd updated some, but not all of them.
yeah,
So consistency across the flows was left a lot to be desired.
yeah. As well with the pop-up form as well, we got that set up basically straight away, didn't we?
Yeah,
Grew
yeah.
your
And
list. I don't have the
I've,
numbers, but
I've tried before on the pop up, but for whatever reason, I noticed a massive drop off in conversion rates whenever I added
yeah.
the pop up.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky, especially in Klaviyo. Their pop-up designer isn't very easy to
It's a little
use.
bit basic, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a bit. If you want to get a nice looking pop-up form, it's quite complicated to do it properly.
Yeah,
But yeah, we were able to grow your list quite a lot. I mean, it's still growing now. Everything's still live, so that's something that will just be going forever. And obviously, if and when we kick off the relationship again, we can do some more tests and see if we can get some more conversion rate out of the pop-up and everything like that. So yeah,
yeah, that'd be good. Like I
yeah,
say, it was something that we'd tried before, but I got nervous and took it off because I felt like it was damaging conversion rates. But
yeah.
that's something that's on the website all day, every day now.
Yeah. Well, we did quite a lot of testing, didn't we, with like the amount of time it takes to show up, because like you mentioned, the conversion rate.
Yeah, we did a split A to B test or something,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
worked out which was going to be the most successful pop up
Yeah.
long term, and
Yeah.
that's really worked well for us.
Yeah, that's one of the things I try to do with everyone I work with is the pop-up form is one of those things that every brand is different. So, like obviously your demographic is sort of older people. So if they go on a website and instantly get a giant pop-up saying put your email address in here, they're going to think, oh, what the hell, and then go off. So we tested
and also a couple of the little things like I think I'd previously done the code as welcome 5, and after a bit of advice from you, we changed that, and because it's a more unique code, people use that more because they think it's unique to them.
Yeah, that is one of the things I bring into everyone I work with is it's such a weird thing, but you just make a static, so like your normal discount code, if it's welcome 5, welcome 10, you just make it look random, and then it's just one of those things.
Even just what a little thing like that I've not thought of before can have a major difference on how often the discount code is used.
Yeah, exactly. So next thing I want to ask is sort of like, what was your overall experience working with us? So obviously we spoke a bit about how we took it off your plate and it freed you up for some other stuff, but in terms of the actual service delivery and what we were able to do, like what was your overall experience like?
Yeah, it's quite good to be honest. It's I guess you're flexible with different clients, but it worked quite well for me. Sort of on WhatsApp, just sort of screenshotting and saying, "Oh, can I have this product there instead?" Or to be able to make those changes before anything went live made me feel quite confident in what we were sending out.
Yeah. Something we are working on as well, that we have worked on since we worked together, was making sure the campaigns are ready even earlier than they were. Because obviously I wouldn't like to send a campaign like the same day, but sometimes that did end up happening. But that's something that we worked on.
Sometimes it was my lack of responses with other things going on in the business. But ideally things would be done a little bit more in advance. Just so that
that's something we've worked on recently. So
nice.
Yeah.
So part of that was my fault.
Well, I mean, something that I overlooked was, I mean, I can send you a campaign a day before it's set to go out, but I have to take into account that you might be too busy to look at it, right? So that's something I've considered, and we just keep bringing the campaigns back, just working ahead as much as we can for that exact reason.
Yeah, again, the more you feel like you're ahead of yourself. So if like midweek the weekend email is already done, it's that peace of mind knowing that it's ticked off and it's that's sorted, ready for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So final thing, what would you say to someone who's maybe in a similar position to you, like they're thinking about working with us, they're currently doing all their own emails, they're a bit on the fence, like what would you say to someone like that?
I'd say that if you've got if you know that you've got issues or gaps within your flows or any of your marketing emails, you're leaving money on the table. There's a lot of easy money to be made through email flows and campaigns. There's certain times of year that we heavily rely on email marketing, and to have the confidence that it's all up to date, it's consistent, and it looks professional, it's a weight off my mind.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. It's been nice to have a bit of a catch up. Like I said earlier, hopefully we can restart again in the new year.
Yeah, I think when we come around to March, we'll be looking to start again,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and develop some of the things that we've done this year, develop them even further.
Yeah, we can redo some of the flows, all that. So yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with me.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Thanks again for all your help.
Cheers. I hope everything goes well until we do work together again. All right. Cheers, John.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so that concludes the interview with John. Just thought I'd go ahead and throw on a bit of a case study here so you can see a bit more of the in-depth strategy stuff that we did over the course of working together and how we were actually able to see some really good numbers. All right, so I've just gone ahead and made myself a bit smaller. So as you can see, we took Lighting Legends from 23% of total attributed revenue to 45% attributed revenue in 30 days, which is around a 95% increase. But how do we do it? So starting off with the screenshot on the left, as you can see, 23% of total attributed revenue, which is about £30,000 a month for them. Moving over, 30 days later, the screenshot on the right, we have 45% of total attributed revenue. So we started around April 14th. As you can see, that screenshot on the left is April 1st, April 30th. The case study period, the period I'm going to be focusing on for this video is May 1st to May 31st. So obviously we had about 2 weeks before this case study starts to get some basic campaigns sent out, get some flow set up, but I'm going to be running over all that in the video. So as you can see, in the 30-day period, which is 1st of May over to the end of May, we added an extra £12,213 a month to campaigns and £18,823 a month to flows. So let's get into the strategy. So nearly 2x in 30 days. Obviously, that's quite a huge increase in revenue for 30 days. How were we able to realise an extra £30,000 in that period of time? Well, we just targeted the low-hanging fruit. When I audited John's account before we started working together, I noticed that they were generating a decent amount of revenue from their flows, even though their flows weren't great. This meant that the flows would be the first point of interest. Flows are great revenue boosters, as usually when we enter a new Klaviyo account, we have to spend a few weeks of strategic campaigns to recover deliverability, meaning if we're committed to getting the flows built out first, we can see huge wins. This led us to taking flow revenue from $25,000 a month to $44,000 a month. So what was the actual strategy that we used to do that? So here's the flow map. As you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flows here. This is 2 flows in the middle, cart and checkout abandon. So building out 9 flows and pop-ups within 30 days is difficult, so we focus on the highest leverage ones first. Seeing as how they already had some basic post-purchase flows to cover any cross-sells and upsells, we went straight in and built the pre-purchase funnel of flows. The pre-purchase funnel consists of the pop-up form and 5 extra flows. So we've got the welcome flow, the site abandon flow, the browse abandon flow, the cart abandon flow, and the checkout abandon flow. As you can see here, this is the pre-purchase funnel. If you want to learn a bit more about funnels and how we strategically place flows, pre-purchase, post-purchase and all that, I do have a video on the e-commerce email funnel on my YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and check that out if you want. Building out these flows meant we could focus on bringing in the most amount of sales as possible, as we're focusing on 1, getting brand new customers with the welcome offer effectively, while also converting high intent shoppers with abandonment flows. As you can see here, the main pop-ups and flows that we built. So we've got the welcome flow here, the cart and checkout abandon here, the site abandon, the browse abandon, and then obviously the pop-up forms there. So obviously it's quite blurry, you can't see too much there, but that gives you a rough idea of how many emails we built out to see these flow results. So now that we've briefly touched on flows, let's move into campaigns. So campaigns went from £4,800 a month to £17,000 a month within the 30-day period. So like I mentioned, the flows did most of the heavy lifting in our May 30-day period. However, we were still able to see a 254% increase in campaign revenue within these 30 days. This is because we were able to send some re-engagement campaigns before May started in the last 2 weeks of April. Like I mentioned, we started April 14th, around the middle of April, so we were able to get some of these campaigns sent out before then. These re-engagement campaigns we sent to small, highly engaged segments to increase our open and click rates before we started our main campaign strategy. This meant by the time May came around, we were able to begin opening up our main segments. The first few campaigns of May were sent to segments larger than our deliverability campaigns of April, but smaller than the ideal 90 to 100 day engaged segments of normal campaign strategy. We did this to lock in our deliverability, make sure that we were still seeing good KPIs before we started sending to our 90 to 120 day list. And over the course of these 30 days, we went from sending to 5,000 people to 12,000 people while keeping the KPIs up. So as you can see here, these are our deliverability campaigns from late April. We focused on creating extremely high engagement campaigns here rather than trying to sell people. All three of these campaigns focused on getting people to click something in the email rather than necessarily buy. So as you can see here, some amazing KPIs. We went around 70% open rates on this email, close to 70%, with a 7% click rate, which is incredibly high. And then the next two campaigns we sent out, above 80% open rates, 1.6, 1.78% click rates, which is very good. So as you can see, that's sort of what we were trying to do with our deliverability campaigns. Then moving into our sort of main campaigns that we sent over the course of May, obviously we're seeing lower click rates, lower open rates, but to much larger lists of people. So as you can see, around 14,000, 15,000 people were receiving the emails by the end of May. So to summarise, within the 30-day period of May, we were able to build out the pop-up forms, build out revenue driving flows, and send consistent campaigns to 30 to 90 day engaged lists. Seeing as how we started working together in the middle of April, we were able to get our delivery campaigns out of the way and build the welcome flow ready to push hard into May, overall allowing us to increase email revenue by around £30,000 per month, a 95% increase from April. So after this 30-day period, after May we continued as we were. We built out the remaining 4 flows, continued to open up the segments for campaigns, and stayed consistently around 38% to 45% of total attributed revenue with email until today. So that's the end of the doc. That's how we took Lighting Legends from 23% attributed revenue to 45% in 30 days, seeing a 95% increase. If you're interested in working with us, we're currently offering brands a completely free welcome flow that consists of 6 to 8 emails completely tailored to your brand. This would almost be like a free trial to see if we can outperform your current welcome flow, which we're confident that we will. If you want to learn more about that, head over to loopclickmarketing.com, watch the video, read the testimonials, and if you want, book a call. Quick note, we may not be running this offer by the time you watch this video, so if it's not there, that's why. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this interview with John and this case study, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Cheers.